Hello friends, and welcome to today's video where we're going to talk about the KBS Gayo and the various performances that happened. But I do want to clarify something. I know in a couple of videos ago when I did the Mama Winners, I said I was going to do a review of the Mama performances, and I still have the notes for it, but I realized as I was getting ready to film, I was like, I only really liked around 3 of these stages. I don't really want to film like a 20+ minute video talking about them when I didn't like most of them. So I decided not to do it. I just wanted to clear that up because my friend texted me, one of my friends texted me and was like, aren't you supposed to do that video? And I was like, I really don't want to. So I decided not to. On the other hand, the Gayos, they have a ton more artists because they're basically just massive concerts. Like, they don't have to bother with pretending to be awards shows. Like, they're just concerts at this point, so they have a lot more artists, and more importantly, they have a lot more artists I care about. And also, I counted, right? There's 24 artists that performed at the Gayo. I would have wanted to talk about 22 of them, so I figured I might as well just make the video, because, like, I'm gonna watch all the stages anyway. And also, I want to make it clear, though, because, like, for this one, of the 24, I'd want to talk about 22. If, like, for one of the other Gayos, it's, like, there's 30 artists, I might only want to talk about 20 of them, so, like, we might not be doing all of the performances for later Gayos, but, like, for this one, we're doing all of them. Also, this was originally just going to be one massive video, and I'm sure you can figure out from the title, it says part 1 down there. This is part 1 of 2. This part is going to be primarily covers, because they did a bunch of covers, so, like, it's going to be mostly covers and then some artists. And part 2 will be out ideally tomorrow. If not, I'll figure it out. There's a lot of comebacks this coming week that I actually want to talk about. So we'll figure it out. But ideally tomorrow will be part 2. And that will have literally everyone else. That being said, I will try and chapter this video so you can, like, just go down and see, like, oh, here's who's in this video. And you can just jump around. I know it's going to screw up my watch time, but I also make $0 off this channel. Like, I'm not monetized. I don't care yet. Like, skip around. Fuck over my watch time. It literally doesn't matter to me. Before we actually get started, though, I want to make it abundantly clear these are just my opinions on these stages. Like, these are my thoughts on all the stages. You can have polar opposite thoughts. My favorite stage, you can think it's the worst stage of the night. The stage I hate, you can think it's the best stage of the night. Like, we can totally differ. That's totally great. I love that for us. Also, last thing before we start, as always, Soompi article in the description has all the stages. Hopefully all the YouTube links should actually work because it's from the KBS, like, official YouTube channel. So, like, I can't imagine us getting taken down for copyright. Although, now that I say that, I'm pretty sure last year for one of the guys, like, the official video got taken down for copyright. So I might be wrong on that. Hopefully they're still all up, though. You can go down there. That's also the order we're going in, if you are wondering, because on the one hand, I want to say that I'm lazy, but also I feel like it's not lazy if I don't want to go through and, like, logically think through an order to all these stages after literally spending a bare minimum of, like, 3 to 4 hours watching them all and taking notes. So yeah, that's the order we're going in. So starting us off, we have the opening stage. Technically, this is listed as, like, a Coyote stage, but, I mean, it's all the artists. They were, in fact, there from the very beginning, so, like, it's everyone who attended the Gayos performing it. And hear me out. I have one key issue. They do this with, like, all the Gayos I know, where, like, they'll open with them all clumped together. And I hate it. It's so boring. It's so just unengaging to see. Also, because obviously, like, all the separate groups aren't coordinating their outfits. So it looks a little messy sometimes. There's that too. But, like, the stages for these Gayos are gigantic. And I just kind of wish they'd spread out more. As for the song, they did Genuine, which I'd never heard before, and it's definitely a song. And that's all I have to say about it, so we're going to move on. Following the opening stage, we enter cover hours, and the first cover is some rookie girlies covering the iconic Love Like Oxygen by SHINee. Now hear me out, because this might be, like, a somewhat controversial opinion, but I will stand by this opinion till my dying day. You should never do a SHINee cover. Just never. You're never going to be able to do it as well as SHINee. And I feel like at that point, like, you just shouldn't even bother really trying. Because the entire time I watch it, I'm going to be like, wow, I love SHINee. I miss SHINee. I wonder when SHINee's coming back. Like, that was my entire thought process during this stage. Because Super M is allegedly coming back in January. Which means Taemin will be back by January. Which means we can have a SHINee comeback instead of a Super M comeback. And I would much prefer a SHINee comeback. But since I watched the girlies do this, I might as well talk about it. It was acceptable. I thought it was fine. The looks varied from cute to just horrendous. I will let you decide who's who because I am not gonna go through it with you right now. I just know I'm gonna anger someone, so like, some of the looks were cute, some were terrible. I think you could figure out who's who based on the preferences I will express later throughout this video and just in the past catalog of my channel, so just figure it out for yourself. As for the rest of the performance though, it was fine. I know SHINee could do it better. I don't really have anything else to say about it. Our next stage is Changmin, Juyeon, and Sunwoo from the BOYZ doing a cover of No Diggity. And I was actually surprised. I didn't think this was going to be a dance cover because it's just a dance cover. Like, the original No Diggity is playing over them. They didn't even bother re-recording it, which I feel like bare minimum effort. You could have at least done that. Just a thought. But either way, they just did dancing. And the looks, Sunwoo's hat was awful. Sunwoo's hat was awful. I hated it. I hate the hats that look like that. But other than the hat, the looks, the all black, very much a moment. Looks aside though, the choreo for the stage was honestly kind of disappointing. Like, it's not that it was bad choreo, because it really wasn't, but it's just, I'm an OG The BOYZ stan, okay? Like, I watched their Flower Cafe show. I have an hour-and-a-half-ish long video talking about them. Like, I love The BOYZ. I know they can do slay choreo. This was not slay choreo. Like, I know they can do better, so I expect them to do better. You made my expectations higher, and I expect you to meet them. It doesn't matter, though, because next, we have one of my favorite stages of the night, which was the ONEUS SexyBack dance cover. This is another dance cover, as I just said. Like, they didn't re-record it. I'm also disappointed in them. However, I can look past it because this time the choreo for this, oh my god, it was absolutely giving. It was serving and slaying. It was a moment. I loved it. Also, the looks were giving. That ending moment, I may have gasped. I will say. I saw it on Twitter, but I may have gasped when I saw it on Twitter and again when I saw it, like, in the stage because, like, it was a moment. Also, as previously mentioned, choreo was iconic. Like, I'm genuinely upset that this was just a 90-second cover because all these covers were, like, very short. At least the SexyBack one and the No Diggity one were very short and a lot of the others. But, like, I wanted a full-length dance cover of this. Okay, like, I wanted a full-length dance cover so badly because 90 seconds was not enough for me. In short, ONEUS proved they deserve to be about 90,000% more popular than they currently are because they put on one of the best stages of the night, and I would like to reiterate the fact that this stage was 90 seconds long, which is a bit of a power move. Moving on, next we have more girlies. This time it is Stacy's Yoon, Gitto's Yuqi, and IVE's Liz doing a cover of After Breaking Up. Now, I never heard this song before, and I don't really feel like I was missing out on it because it wasn't really my style. I didn't really like the song. I will say the looks were great. They all looked gorgeous, but there wasn't really, like, a lot going on with the stage. Like, they didn't really do anything. It was kind of just them singing most of the time, which was a little boring to watch, so it definitely wasn't one of the best stages if you ask me. Next, we have a stage that I feel like we need to discuss some context for before I actually get into it, which was ATEEZ's cover of T.O.P by Shinhwa. Now, we all should know by now, there are some iconic Shinhwa stages out there, like Shinhwa covers, I mean, because, like, we all know about the Perfect Man Bangtan cover, right? However, there's also the This Love Got 7 cover and the highly underrated Wild Eyes BAP cover. If you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend it because it's great. But my point is, like, there are some great covers out there of Shinhwa songs, and I was very curious if this would join the list. It didn't. I'm sorry to say it. Like, it just didn't. I feel like part of it is just that T.O.P isn't as good of a song as the other three. Like, those three songs are all great. They're all in my Apple Music, whereas I wouldn't really ever think of adding T.O.P to my Apple Music. I'm just gonna say it. Like, so the song itself didn't do it any favors, but also I just feel like the stage itself wasn't on that level, if you ask me. Also, I don't know if it's, like, the original Shinhwa choreo they were doing. I would assume so, but I don't know for sure. I've, like, never seen a T.O.P stage, and I didn't feel like looking one up to compare and contrast. But the choreo for this stage, I wasn't really a fan. It looked a little goofy to me. Like, I wasn't that into it. And I know ATEEZ are great dancers, so I did have some higher expectations in the choreo department. Also, the looks, the all-white weren't giving what I feel like they wanted it to be giving. Again, didn't look that great to me. Like, they didn't look bad. None of them looked bad, but it didn't look as good as they could. As a whole, I don't think this was a bad stage. I think they did a good job, and I do think one day ATEEZ could give us another iconic level Shinhwa cover. Today's just not that day. Anyway, next we have another old boy group cover, which was the cover of SSERAFIM doing Hot's Hope. And once more, all white looks, not a fan, especially with the jackets. It wasn't giving what I feel like they would have wanted it to be giving. Also, again, with the choreo, it was very much giving 90s. Like, I would assume this is the original Hot choreo, but I just didn't really like it. It wasn't really for me, and I know the SSERAFIM can do some slay choreo, so I was a little disappointed. The one thing that I will give this cover over some of the other ones we've had so far is just the song's better. I think this is a better song, so like that definitely helped. And they sounded great here. I feel like their voices really fit the song surprisingly, so like that did help, but it was definitely not one of the best stages of the night, if you know what I mean. Now we have entered JYP territory. The next couple stages are on JYP. So first up we have Stray Kids' cover of As I Told You, and the looks made me laugh. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure it was just Hyunjin's goggles, but like I truly cackled when they came on screen. Like the looks were so goofy, but not in a good way, and I laughed. The stage itself, though, was fine. The choreo was good. Their voices really fit this song, so there was that. And just overall, it was a good song. So, like, it was a good stage. I just wish the looks were better. On to the next JYP cover, which was ITZY's Caution. Now, I'd never heard of this song, nor the original artist, but it kind of slayed in the cover, so I have since listened to it, and it's a pretty good song. None of that is relevant to this experience, I just wanted to share it. Tangent aside, the stage was actually great. I would say this is probably my favorite of the JYP covers, just because, like, the looks were so pretty. I really liked these looks. Also, as previously mentioned, I liked the song, and the choreo was really cool, so, like, all around I was into it. My one key complaint is the lip syncing was a little off at times, and in a way that, like, not that it was, like, terribly noticeable. I've seen stages where the lip syncing is just way off, and it's very noticeable, and it makes me laugh, specifically in music videos. If you watch a music video, pay attention to the lip syncing. It's very funny to me, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the stage. So, this stage lip syncing slightly off. It wasn't, like, horrible, but, like, I did notice it. We've reached the final JYP cover, which means we've wrapped up the trilogy, let's say, but this was the NMIXX cover of You and My Blurred Memories, and some of the worst looks of the night, I'm gonna say. Like, I really, really didn't like these looks. I thought they were, I don't know if ugly is the right word, but they definitely weren't cute. Looks aside, the stage itself was fine. I didn't really love the choreo, and there were some more poor lip syncing, let's call it, but like, none of the stuff that I witnessed was bad. I was also severely jarred when the Stray Kids and ITZY members showed up because I didn't expect them to be there. I was jarred by it. It had no impact on my thoughts whatsoever. I just wanted to share. We now have finished the JYP trilogy, and we are at our first non-JYP cover in a hot minute, which was Forestella's Bad Romance cover. Now, right off the bat, I will concede, this is my favorite song that was covered this night. Like, I'm a Lady Gaga lover. I love Bad Romance. I think this song is great. So, like, I did have a predisposition to like this cover. But also, this was one of the most iconic stages of the night, I have to say. Like, this stage, first of all, I don't know the main singer man's name, because I don't know this group at all, but his voice, oh my god. It fit the dark, creepy vibes so perfectly. I was literally enthralled. Like, he sounded so perfect. Speaking of the vibes, though, the backup dancers, they deserve so much credit for this because they were absolutely serving and slaying. The looks were also great for them, and specifically, like, they had these, it was a moment, I was so here for it. They also did the full song, which I'm willing to bet money. They submitted, like, the 90-second cover for, like, some background audio, and whoever, like, was in charge of the stages and the covers was like, we need the full thing. We need the full thing. We need the full 4 minutes. Like, you, please do the whole thing. And they were like, sure. I hope you understand. Like, if anything, I'm underselling the stage. Like, this was quite possibly my favorite stage of the night. If not, it was my number 2. As of right now, I would rank it number 2, but, like, it was a moment. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 28. I will have it linked at the top of my description because I know no one's going to watch this stage, at least in comparison to the others. So, like, please watch it. You need to experience this stage. It was a life-altering experience. It was so good. One of the best stages of the night. We need to move on before I ramble. Closing out cover hours, we have some solo covers, and starting us off is going to be IVE's Wonyoung's cover of Love by SES. I will say right off the bat, she looked gorgeous. Her outfit was really pretty, and the background matched the outfit really well. I feel like people do not take that into account when making their backgrounds. The background went flawlessly with the look. It was an absolute moment. The rest of the stage was fine. The song itself, like, it's nothing super special. If you ask me, it's a fine song. The choreo also just kind of fine. There was nothing really engaging about it to me. And I don't know if I'm getting more perceptive as I slowly creep toward my mid-20s because we're in the final month. 1 month from now, I will be in my mid-20s, and I'm terrified of that fact, but that's irrelevant right now. I think I'm becoming more perceptive because I noticed I'm lip-syncing again. Just gonna mention that. Moving on, our next cover is gonna be Miyeon's cover of Jung-hwa's Festival, and this was actually one of my favorite sets of the night. I thought it looked really, really pretty, and I just really liked it. Her outfit was very much also giving 90s, so like I will give it credit for that, even if the song is nothing all that exciting and I didn't really love the choreo. We have reached the final cover. We've made it through cover hours, or at least we almost have. And that was ITZY's Yuna's cover of Hyori's You Go Girl. And I must mention the set again, because this set honestly deeply slayed. Like, I don't know why they decided to go so ham for the solo stage sets, but like, I mean the solo cover sets, but like, they really did. Like, the solos, they all had some of the best backgrounds of the night. Whereas, like, for the groups, none of them were, like, horrendous. Well, some were, but that's later. But, like, the solo cover backgrounds, amazing. Yuna also owned this stage. Like, she was having an absolute moment up there. And this was probably my favorite solo cover of the night. Granted, there were only 3, and this is my favorite of the songs that were performed. But, like, it was still my favorite. But let's discuss now. The setting, as previously mentioned, was just incredible. But also, she looked really pretty, and her choreo was very good, and I really liked the song, so just, it was all around giving things that I enjoyed. I'm sure this was intentional, but our next stage very much bridges the gap between the covers and the original songs, which was the official premiere of the Dream Candy cover slash remake slash whatever this is. It's Candy. It was the official premiere of Candy. And this was my favorite stage of the night. I stand by Bad Romance was probably the best stage of the night, but this was my favorite. I've seen this stage at least 5 times as like the full group, plus I've watched fan cams for like half of them at this point. This stage and me, we've become quite well acquainted, let's say. Now, I love Dream. We've established this in the history of my channel. Like, I am a Dream stan first and foremost. So I'm going to try and be objective while I talk about this stage, okay? And, this stage was adorable. Like, the whole thing, absolutely a moment. First of all, though, the background, very cute, very much here for it. The song itself is also just so bright and just happiness-inducing, let's say, because I really like it. The choreo also, very similar vibes. Renjun in particular, kind of slang. I texted the bestie because the bestie's a Renjun stan, and I was like, I'm having a Renjun moment. And she was like, I love it. I love to see it. Because, like, I was having a Renjun moment. He was so cute in this stage. Also, the fits, I don't know how they did it. They were simultaneously just ugly. Like, from an objective point of view, they were ugly. But they were also so endearingly ugly. Like, I can't explain it, but it's like, it's ugly cute. It's ugly cute. It was so, I was having a moment. As a whole, I would say this was a phenomenal stage. I really liked it. Favorite stage of the night. It's just, it filled me with joy. It made me so happy. It filled every part of my spirit with just endless levels of happiness. And because I'm curious, I want to see what's going to happen if I'm cranky and watch this. So next time I'm cranky, I have every intention of watching the stage. Candy isn't the only song Dream did, though. They also did Glitch Mode. Am I personally bitter they didn't do beatbox because I just like beatbox more as a song? I'm a little bitter, but I'll get past it. Speaking of being bitter, the fits for this stage made me irrationally angry because they just varied so much in quality. Like, Mark and Jamin's coats were so bad, I really didn't like them. I thought they were just ugly as hell. But, like, Jeno and Jisung looked really cute. So I don't even know anymore. As for the stage itself, though, it was decent. I really don't like this song at all. I, in fact, kind of despise it. So that didn't help. But the choreo does slay, so there is that. I don't really have anything else to say about it, though, so we're going to keep going. Next is the other NCT unit, NCT 127, and they started off doing Faster. And the looks, the sparkles, I loved it. I actively gasped when Haechan came on screen. Like, they looked so good. As for the rest of the stage, though, it was pretty good. I mean, I don't love Faster as a song, but I despise Two Baddies, so by comparison, it's a masterpiece. Speaking of Two Baddies, that was the other song they did, and I don't think I'm ever gonna think this song is even, like, remotely decent. I don't think it's ever gonna be acceptable to me. Like, I'm so sorry. I know a lot of people really like this song, and you're totally valid in your opinion. You can totally love this song. This can be your favorite NCT song of all time. It hurts me. It hurts me on a physical and spiritual and emotional level. It hurts me on every level, and I wish it didn't exist. The choreo for the song also has way too much TikTok in it, if you ask me. So, like, I'm not really here for that either. The only real redeeming part of the stage for me was I assume they're not allowed to say Porsche on live TV because of, like, branding and shit. So they say two baddies, one squad. That made me weakly smile and regain some of my will to live. However, I swear to God, I lose a year of my life every time I hear this song. I will die younger because of two baddies, and I expect at least remotely better from the repackage. Like, I don't know how they could make it worse, but I said the same thing about Sticker, and they put out two baddies. So, like, I want better from the repackage. Moving on, next we have an artist that normally hurts my ears, but didn't this year, and that was Stray Kids. And right off the bat, their looks, loved it. Like, I was so obsessed with their fits. They started off doing Case 143, and I actually really like the song live. I don't really like it as, like, the song on Apple Music, if you know what I mean, but, like, live, I was kind of here for it. I also really like the choreo, so I was pleasantly surprised by this stage because I really didn't expect to like it as much as I did. After that, we had a little dance break moment where they changed into some lesser fits, at least the lesser if you ask me. And then they did Maniac. Now, I've said before, and I stand by it, Maniac is one of my favorite Stray Kids titles, if not my favorite. I actually really liked this song. However, you know how Case 143 got better live? This song somehow got worse live. My current theory is it's the Migos-esque ad-libs. Like, when you're listening to it pre-recorded, they're not quite as loud, whereas live, they're actively shouting it into a microphone, and there's no way to, like, quiet that. So they come across as very loud, and I hate them. So it definitely brought the song down for me. The choreo was solid, like, don't get me wrong. I really like the choreography for this song, but, like, I was a little disappointed. Can I just say, I was so tempted to start this section off by saying, speaking of disappointment, next we have TOPs, because I've been disappointed in their music lately. But that felt mean, and I also really liked their stage in the end, so I changed my notes. Either way, though, starting off, we had opening sequence, and can I just say, I always forget opening sequence is a song. I always think when I see it, because they'll always have the songs listed. So it'll be like opening sequence and Good Boy Gone Bad. And I always think it's like, oh, like an opening, like choreography moment. And then I remember that opening sequence is a song and that it's a song. Like, it's not just a little moment. It's a full song. That's all irrelevant. I just wanted to share that. Anyway, this is a great song. It's one of my favorite songs off their Thursday's Child mini and also has some Slay level choreo. So there's that. However, the far more prevalent issue, the looks, oh my god, they looked so good. Like, who let Bumgyu look that good? Who let Kai outside when he looks that good? These looks, some of my favorite looks of the night, like, they just, oh, they looked so good. Now, if they'd only done opening sequence, I actually might have called this one of the best overall performances of the night. However, they then did Good Boy Gone Bad, and this song is just kind of bad. Like, again, just like with Two Baddies, you're totally valid if you love this song. This can be your favorite TOPs title. I love that for you. I consider it their worst and definitely a deep decline over the past couple years in the terms of, like, the quality of their titles, and it just makes me sad. That being said, the choreo for the song is very good, and the looks continue to be just far too powerful to be allowed. So I did get through the stage, however, I may have muted it for the chorus. You don't know, you weren't here. Last but not least, at least for this video, we're going to be done after this because, like, I've been filming for 45 minutes at this point. We're right, it's time to wrap it up. But last but not least, we have one of my personal favorite overall performances of the night and also my personal artist of the year, the one and only, the queens themselves, ITZY. Firstly, I want to talk about the outfits because they weren't bad, but it definitely could have been better. Like, I will stand by, they absolutely peaked looks-wise, at least so far, with their Melon Music Awards performance. Those looks were stunning. However, they didn't look bad, okay? I just know they could have looked better. On to the actual stage, though. So they started out with the official song of the year, Love Dive, and it was a slay moment. The song is great. I really like the choreo. It was a moment. I was here for it. Then we had a dance break. And after that, they did my favorite ITZY title, We've Evolved. This is Afterlife, by the way, but I know when Afterlife came out, I said it was their weakest title. I've since changed my mind. It's now my favorite. Anyway, it was phenomenal. I really liked it. The song is an absolute bop. The choreo was great. all around it was a moment. So yeah, I've slayed. They slayed the girlies. They had their moment of moments. It was incredible. They did great. I love the stage. Anyway, yeah, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Part 2 will hopefully be out in the near future. But until then, you can like and subscribe if you want to, or don't. I will be okay either way. You can comment down below your thoughts on the various stages that I talked about. Tell me that I'm wrong. Tell me that I'm right. Tell me whatever you want. You can also follow me on Twitter at s_reviews. I will link that in the description, along with the Forestella stage you absolutely need to watch, and just the Soompi article that has all the stages, so you can check them all out. And yeah, that's all I have for you today. Thank you again for watching. Bye!